Marcus Tullius Cicero, born on 3rd Jan 106 BC in Italy, was assassinated on 7th December 43 BC in Italy. Marcus Tullius Cicero said, "The enemy is within the gates. It is with our own luxury, our own folly, our own criminality that we have to contend." Marcus Tullius Cicero was a Roman statesman, lawyer, scholar, and academic skeptic who played an important role in the politics of the late Roman Republic and upheld optimist principles during the crisis that led to the establishment of the Roman Empire. His extensive writings include treatises on rhetoric, philosophy, and politics, and he is considered one of Rome's greatest orators and prose stylists. He came from a wealthy municipal family of the Roman equestrian order and served as consul in 63 BC. His influence on the Latin language was immense. He wrote more than 3/4 of surviving Latin literature from the period of his adult life, and it has been said that subsequent prose was either a reaction against or a return to his style, not only in Latin but in European languages up to the 19th century. Cicero introduced into Latin the arguments of the chief schools of Hellenistic philosophy and created Latin philosophical vocabulary with the neologisms such as evidentia, humanitas, qualitas, and essentia, distinguishing himself as a translator and philosopher. Marcus Tullius Cicero said, "The enemy is within the gates. It is with our own luxury, our own folly, our own criminality that we have to contend. The enemy is within the gates." Even though people have got their eyes, they went blind. They could not see, they could not observe, because the seeing and observation has reached a stage of unconscious state. They reached a stage of dead bodies because of the non-stop influence of reading other people's books or watching the television and other people's social media. Even the greatest business people said, first save, then spend. First your duty, your house duty. The moment you forget to do your house duty with your wife, with your husband, with your parents, with grandparents, with your relatives, do not forget, with your relatives, right inside the house, you have no right to go outside the gates of your house. Neither to talk about the outside people, neither to discuss about the outside people. When you have the strength, when that strength creates the magnetic power, outside people becomes nothing. They get attracted to you, to follow you. They become the prey, not you the predator. Try to understand. Marcus Tullius Cicero, the Roman emperor, said, "The enemy is within the gates." Which enemy? When you forget to work very, very hard, in the sense, I'm not telling you are torturing. You have to torture your body. It's a way of life of the body. The body needs that kind of a flexibility because the body likes to jump and dance and twist and turn. Have you seen the monkey, how it can jump and dance? And same in the olden days, the human body could jump and dance and climb the tree and twist and turn and climb down. The body has got that kind of a flexibility. If I am wrong, you can look into the gymnastics of the children from China and Russia and other places. They can twist and turn. That twisting and turning, the day you stopped, the enemy is within the gates. The moment you stopped your flexibility, the moment you stop climbing the trees, the moment you stop jumping into the pond, into the rivers, into the lakes to swim, the moment you forget to take your spade and dig and plow the field. The enemy is within the gates. Enemy is the excess fat, the visceral fat. Suddenly, when that visceral fat and the fat enters your body, means you are allowed the enemy to enter your body. Then no amount of doctors, no amount of hospital, no amount of temples or churches or mosques can help you. Try to understand that. You have to cut down your body weight. By cutting down your body weight, do not go after the apps and to the publicity to get their support. Just go into the field and do. Just go into the field and do. Which field, you might ask? In the city there's no field. Look at this, the oldest Maharishis and the Mother Teresa. They keep the Rudraksha Mala, the holy, what do you call the chain, and they keep on counting again and again. Repeatedly they're doing the mantra. Why don't you repeatedly do again and again the same work in the house, and then from your washing the clothes, you will find how to stitch. Then the mind will go deeper to find out from where the cloth came, when you can wash and iron and stitch. You can wash other people. Other people also come and give you. You get your money. Yes. When you know to cook, you slowly start growing your own wages. You do not have to spend money from outside. The moment you spend money from outside, the enemy is on the gates. It is with our own luxury. Marcus Tullius, Cicero said, it is our own luxury. We given the luxury for the fat to enter the body. We gave the luxury for the visceral fat to enter the body. We gave the luxury of unnecessary watching outside things, and then our eyesight is gone, the hearing sight is gone, the brain stopped functioning. We are thinking we are intelligent, so that we go to the social media and start screaming at everybody, every Tom, Dick and Harry. The leaders are made. The moment you go and support a particular leader, that leader becomes a nobody. He thinks that he's a god and he tries to make you a slave. Drop that. Let the leader do the work to protect the people. When he knows to protect the people, he knows to make the people strong. He knows he will be protected and he will be strong. Otherwise, he will get carried away and he makes you a nobody. You are the cause of it. Marcus Tullius, Cicero says, enemy is within the gates. You have brought the enemy right in the front. No other enemy. You have created the enemy. If other enemies come, the enemy will become our prey. They are the predators, because our family. The moment you forgot to talk to your wife, the deep intimate relation with the wife and your husband, enemy is within the gates. It is with our own luxury that she lost the faith and your love with you. The enemy is with you when you forget to eat and sleep and play and take part together with the children, with your father and mother, with your grandparents. That day the enemy has entered, because the communication gap, that gap creates the enemies right inside your house, not on the gates. You create the enemy right inside your wife and the husband, inside your children. They are talking, they are arguing, they are fighting. They have not considered you as God. A structure, a pyramid is very, very important. Try to understand. From that family, you understand the joint family. From joint family, and the family tree is there. Which enemy can come? Marcus Tullius, Cicero said the enemy is within the gate. Try to understand the disease is within the gates. When you do not do all those things, where is your song? Where is your bhajan? You forgot. You read, you create a big library. You go and inside the house you create a library, and you forgot there is another library, the practical experience library, which is coming out from the gospel, which is coming as a gospel truth from a father and grandfather, from the joint family, from a family tree. When you have not listened to that, you have not polished your own mother tongue, how could you go and say to read other books? No, drop that one. We have become a slave culture that was created by our own stupidity. We allowed the children to go to the schools, find out which schools, the schools which can teach the children our own mother tongue so polished. When the child finishes the school, the child will have a flow of a poetry. He becomes a kavita he can write. He becomes a poet. He becomes a writer. He becomes a historian for his own. A child which is not taught cooking and washing and how to take care of the family is not a school at all. Stop that school. The houses which you buy, the flats which you buy, if it doesn't have the rainwater harvesting and solar wind energy, biotechnology, do not buy those flats. Leave the city, go back to the villages. When you leave the village and you went to the city, you have created an enemy right inside your house, not on the gates. Inside the village, an enemy has entered. Now you have become a pariah, you have become a foreigner. Marcus Tullius Cicero's enemy is within the gates. It is with our own luxury, We have paid for the enemy to come inside. Our own folly, our own criminality. When we don't cook and understand our right is of food, let thy food be thy medicine. How could we go to the hotel? The moment you go to the hotel, you get attracted to eat the outside food. Your enemy is on your gate. You have created this with our own luxury, our own folly, your folly, our own criminal, your criminality. Don't tell others a criminal. You are criminal. That we have to contend. You are happy. You created that criminality. Drop that one. I'm not telling you have created. You were forced to create. Circumstances forced you to create. The political mainstream and the 2% which is want to control 98% wealth of the country. The brutal dictators hand in hand with the religious leaders like me, like Swamijees and priests and church fathers and mullahs. They created you to become a nobody, for you to look into the TV. We forced you to come to the temple. Otherwise, your house is a temple. Once you understand your house is a temple and the church is the masjid, then this temple, masjid and church cannot take you for granted. They will work very, very hard. Now they are not working very hard because you are going there. They know you are a slave. Make your house a temple. Please, for God's sake. And that is the greatest happiness you will ever get. It's orgasmic happiness right in the house, and the richest person in the whole world will be your joint family, your family tree. If you reside. Marcus Tullius Cicero, though he was an accomplished orator and successful lawyer, Cicero believed his political career was his most important achievement. It was during his consulship that the second Catilinarian conspiracy attempted to overthrow the government through an attack on the city by outside forces. Cicero suppressed the revolt by summarily and controversially executing 5 conspirators during the chaotic latter half of the 1st century BC, marked by civil wars and the dictatorship of Gaius Julius Caesar. Cicero championed a return to the traditional republican government. Following Julius Caesar's death, Cicero became an enemy of the Mark Antony in the ensuing power struggle, attacking him in a series of speeches. He was proscribed as enemy of the state by the second triumvirate and consequently executed by soldiers operating on their behalf in 43 BC after having been intercepted during an attempted flight from the Italian peninsula. His severed hands and head were then, as a final revenge of Mark Antony, displayed on the rostra. Marcus Tullius Cicero said, enemies within the gates. It is with our own luxury, our own folly, our own criminality that we have to contend. This is my 290th